Or if you see that someone you invited isn't on yet, please do shoot them a text quickly and let them know that we are getting started. But do put in the chat who your guest is, and make sure that you get back. Make sure that you get back with your guest after this meeting. I do want to say one thing. We changed the time for the USA. So I know a lot of our USA friends cannot make it because their lunchtime is not 1 to 2, but 12 to 1. So we're kind of moving to more of a South African European group here now, because a lot of our American friends are not available at this time. But be that as it may, this is a safe place to bring your friends and people that you share this patch with, and do know that we are here just to give the information, and then you will follow up with them and find out if they have any questions afterwards. But thank you for being on.
Yep. And so we're going to share some information today, but the thing that we always kind of discuss also is that for my wife and myself, we were not necessarily looking for an opportunity, and we're going to talk a little bit about an opportunity in the second part of the meeting, but we were looking for solutions for me because I had a car accident back in 2016 where someone slammed into the back of my car, but it kind of stopped very quickly, and the person behind me wasn't paying attention, was texting. They hit the back of my car, we're going about 60 miles an hour, so they guesstimate, and literally I smashed into the van in front of me, smashed into the truck in front of them. Well, my car became an accordion, and so did my spine, unfortunately. So it damaged my neck, my shoulder, my back. I already had a shoulder injury, it really just made it a lot worse. And then a couple of years later, on 9/11/2021, I actually had a knee injury because we went up and down a 5-story building 18 times with about 100 guys, all these firefighters, to represent the amount of stairs the firefighters climbed on 9/11. So it's a 20-year anniversary. So we did that 18 times in a 5-story building. Unfortunately, I slipped and tripped and injured my knee, which affected my right hip. So I had 5 areas of challenges, I can say. So nothing more than chiropractors, acupuncturists, acupressure, every kind of CBD, essential oil, everything I could possibly use, light therapy, all kinds of different therapies I tried. And everything worked a little bit, and I think which helped me kind of continue moving forward. But my friend told me about the stem cell activation patch. As soon as he mentioned stem cells, I'm like going, very interested. And he said, you got to try this. Well, again, I said, I'll try anything. Well, 3 days later, no issues with my knee, my hip, my shoulder, my neck, my back. I'm like, what in the world is this? How does this thing work? Finally looked at the stuff that he had sent me, and now we're going to share with you what we've been able to see. But now today, because of that, we can't stop sharing with others, and we've been able to help people, and we can never make medical claims, but personally, we've been able to help people with things like Parkinson's and MS, Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, even any kind of itis is imaginable, even rheumatoid arthritis and all kinds of autoimmune diabetes and all kinds of different things. And we don't like mentioning medical terms because again, but just if you think about all the challenges that come from these different things, this is what we want to share with others because it has changed people's lives around the world. We now get business in 32 countries around the world. And the most important thing is we want to share with you so we can help as many people as possible. So the biggest question we always ask people is, have you been patched yet? And if you haven't, that's just one thing you definitely want to experience this patch. So when we talk a little bit more about, obviously, what the product does is elevates what's called GHK copper peptides, which activates your stem cells and regenerates, obviously, your body. And this is proven scientifically. So the first thing we start doing is looking at, the people that basically were involved with the company were people that we knew specifically, but then they introduced other people and they introduced us to the corporate and who actually the inventor was, which was pretty amazing. So when we found out about the inventor, David Schmidt was the CEO and the inventor of X39. So he started over 20 years ago working with the Navy SEALs. We're helping them to actually stay alert during 36 hours during these critical missions that they were doing. And he came up with the very first patch system to basically create a wearable technology. He then started working with all these different Olympic athletes and all these different people with that. And so he's got over 130 patents. He's a scientist and inventor. And then he started specializing in age reversing. How many people know that's a great thing, right? So in 2008, he focused his attention on stem cell research because he knew this was the key to unlock basically age reversing. And this one product took 10 years, $4.5 million worth of research and development to come up with this one product. And today it's being distributed in over 80 countries around the world. To be honest, my wife was very skeptical at first. She goes, okay, whatever, type thing. And literally then she started looking at the patent and reading more about it.
Yeah, so as Greg said, I was really skeptical, wanted nothing to do with this technology. In fact, my thing was, how can a little sticker like this change anybody's life, But then I realized that he had a patent. When I saw the website, I was like, oh my goodness, there's a patent here. my background being law, from South Africa. I got my degree there in South Africa, and I have a lot of my colleagues that actually specialize in registering patents, and I understand that you cannot register a patent without making sure that there's no other product like this, and also that the statements, that what you're writing in that document or have written in that document and recorded there, in fact, are true. And so when I took a look at this, I saw it was registered in July of 2020, that it had 20-year run on it. So we have still like 15 years and 9 months on it still. And I looked at this particular paragraph stood out to me because I kind of understood the terms in it. And it says embodiments as a result of elevating copper peptide, including activation of stem cells. And I know we all have stem cells, improvements in energy. We need energy, elevation of antioxidants, what we're trying to achieve daily. Reduction in inflammation, that was big for me. Management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and improved wound healing. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is actually in this document. So there's probably some truth to this.
Yeah, and it was pretty interesting because, again, we didn't know this. And again, we heard about, stem cells. I actually knew people had stem cell injections, and I was looking at that myself. They guesstimate about $30,000 to $40,000 to repair all the areas that I challenges. And so one thing that we didn't realize was actually that stem cells start going dormant after you stop growing. So you think about it as a baby, start growing and growing and growing and growing, and basically the stem cells are the things that reproduce, and also in the repair business, meaning that if you cut yourself or if you break your arm, the stem cells rush there and actually repair those areas that are damaged. So you think about it, we're meant to heal. God created us to heal, but what happened is that basically as you start aging, stem cells get more and more and more dormant. By the time that you're 30 years old, you have half the stem cell activity you had when you're younger. By the time that you're 60, you have about 5 to 10% activity. So basically 95% of the activity is basically gone away. So what happens when you start activating your stem cells, everything changes. And so once again, we talk about this, we're going to be highlighting a couple of different benefits of this, but literally I felt like I was in my 60s going to my 70s when I was 52. Now I'm 54 and I actually feel like I'm in my 30s slipping into my 20s because your body starts acting younger. The stuff I can do now I couldn't do a couple years ago, and it's pretty amazing.
So how does it work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. A lot of us know things like red light therapy or light therapy, and it has patented nanocrystal technology, which was created in a lab in Ireland, and it reflects our own light and heat to activate what is in this lattice here. So it's not transdermal, so nothing is going in our skin at all. No drugs, no stimulants are passing through to the skin, not invasive. And David Schmidt makes sure that we let everybody know that these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical condition.
Yeah, and so what's interesting is kind of like the way we kind of experience, we live in the sunshine state here in Florida, they call it. And so in Florida, the sun's shining all the time. And so what happens is when the sun hits our skin, it elevates things in our body. Once again, our skin is our biggest organ and basically elevates things in our body. So you think about, most people know we get vitamin D from the sun. So when we talk about that, with the vitamin D is not being pushed out from the sun. So it's not pushing out vitamin D. It's pushing out a frequency of light that interacts with our body and basically elevates the vitamin D. Well, we emit heat and light 24/7. So if I had night vision goggles on, we all glow in the dark. So it's just reflecting that same light that's in our body. So you can wear it anywhere on your body and it'll reflect your own light, which activates the stem cells, which is pretty amazing.
So the benefits of X39: increased strength, reduced inflammation. I know a lot of people struggle with that. Increased stamina, energy, vitality, mental clarity, just being able to remember more. You're not forgetting why you walked into a room. Restored muscle and skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep, which was very big for me. I did not use the patch because I wanted to improve my sleep. I just did not want to lag behind. When I saw Greg's results, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't let him get younger and me not me keep aging, And so I started to use the product, and the first thing I noticed is the stiffness in my hands went away, because I was waking up with stiffness in my hands, and that went away. And then about a week and a half afterwards, when I had the first night of absolute blissful sleep, I was like so rested, and it was a deep, deep, deep REM sleep. And I hadn't slept like that in many, many years. And when that happened, I was like, oh my goodness, what happened there? You know, I just thought maybe it's a one-time thing. But my goodness, for the last 2 years plus months, I sleep absolutely wonderfully. I dream every night, whereas for the longest time I said I don't dream. Now I dream and I remember my dreams. So I feel forever blessed that that has been a turnaround for me. Improved skin appearance, we're seeing that from a lot of people, even people's scars completely disappearing. And David says it's achieving an optimal state of health and complete physical, mental, and social well-being.
Yeah, and that's amazing. So you start thinking about long-term studies and things like that too. So this is an example of a topography map that literally where they took people and they started scanning basically their brains to see how it was affecting people's lives, because they're realizing that basically people started brain balancing in about 6 weeks. And so this is an example of a 77-year-old woman who's basically placed the X39 in the back of her neck. So prior to actually using it, you see what happened here is basically a scan of her brain. You look at all the bright reds and oranges. That's basically inflammation in the brain. David even said she's probably got inflammation throughout her whole body, but they just scanned her brain. If they scanned all her organs, they did inflammation, all those too. But lack of brain coherence, it says it can be noted that when she came in, her brain was hyperactive. And so once again, 3 weeks after being on the X39, wearing it 12 hours a day, we'll talk a little bit more about that. What happens is that now what's missing? All the red, the orange, everything else is missing. So what happens is basically no more inflammation, improved brain coherence within 3 weeks. Then they scanned her brain another 3 weeks later. So in total 6 weeks of her wearing the patch, not changing anything else, complete total turnaround, better brain coherence. They said this is what a balanced brain looks like. How many people know we have friends and family that need this product? Anyway, so again, balancing the brain. But it says her brain calmed down dramatically at the second session too. And then after wearing X39 patch for 3 weeks, her brain remained calm after wearing the patch for 6 weeks. So when you take a look at the differences, this is just one study, but they've done so many case studies on literally how this affects our lives. And this is, once again, imagine having inflammation throughout your whole body being also then, changed within that short period of time.
So the long-term results per case studies on thisisit.info.com, that's an important website. I share it with everyone. So the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. Wow. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. We just saw that with the topography slide that Greg just shared. Within 3 months, our own collagen is increasing. I was drinking collagen shots and taking collagen powders. I mean, the wide array, don't know which one to choose, which one's working, and now no more. My own body's producing its own collagen. Within 6 months, your heart reverses in age, and they say by an average of 8 years. Can you imagine? So take your age and deduct 8 years off of that, and no wonder you're acting younger. So it's not anti-aging. David says it's age reversing.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold statement. It's funny. I was looking at my nails. I got to cut my nails again. It's like a week later, and it's just crazy. You talk about collagen levels, your hair, your skin, your nails. The collagen products you used before, I think, made a little bit of difference, but now it's made a dramatic difference. And I know most women are like hashtag collagen.
And
right?
collagen is not just for skin and hair.
No.
Your organs, everything is held together by collagen. Even eyes. Apparently, our eyes are mostly collagen.
Yep.
Can you imagine?
It's pretty amazing. So all these different things. So how we wear the patch is pretty simple. So again, you see two illustrations in here. Below the belly button is one place they have as kind of like a hot spot because your gut health is very, very important. And also behind the neck, that's your C7. So if you reach on the back of your neck, you actually have a bump back there, and that's your C7. That's basically where your central nervous system connects to the rest of your body, as we've been told. I said, like, I'm not a medical professional. We just heard from other people, but we wear the patch 12 hours a day. So it's very simple. Peel and stick. Literally, you take off the backing, peel it off, and literally stick it anywhere you want. Now, the two spots I've always worn on the back of my neck, but you can put it anywhere. If you got shoulder issues, you can put it on your shoulder. For me, I had 5 areas, and they said just put it on the back of your neck. And literally 3 days later, I was very happy where I put it. But once again, we're 12 hours a day. So I wear it 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Some people can choose a different time. They recommend wearing it during the day because you want to activate and stimulate during the day and rest and rejuvenate at night. You get your best rest and rejuvenation night. Then just throw the patch on. So 9 p.m. tonight, my alarm's going to go off. And Lily, this morning, 9 a.m. it went off. I went down and grabbed my patches, put my patch on. Lily, at 9 p.m. tonight, it's going to say, take patch off, and I'm going to take the patch off, throw it out, and put a new one on the next day. But once again, the other thing they talk about is drink plenty of water. I've actually got a bottle of water in here, so I got water that's in there. So that's one thing we say, always good, pure, clean water. And if you do use reverse osmosis water or purified water, make sure you add minerals, because most of those waters have like hardly any minerals in them, and that makes a big difference in detoxing and also hydration. If you don't have the right minerals, you don't hydrate, and basically that's a big part of detoxing, actually being healthy, is being actually hydrating. So we recommend Celtic salts, different things like that. And actually they have a product they're launching this month, we'll probably be talking about in a few weeks. So again, there's so many different things we could talk about X39. It really is a very sophisticated product. Like I said, it took 10 years, $4.5 million to figure out the right frequency to reflect back to activate the copper peptides, activate our stem cells. But it's really simple to explain. Put this on, try this, and drink lots of water. But the testimonials are truly life-changing and very emotional. So we have so many testimonials, and even on X39, on this is it info, you can actually see testimonials on there. But the best thing we know is it really works. People ask, well, our doctors say, it's something that you got to get from a doctor. Well, no, we are brand partners. We can do this because it's a wellness patch, but we do have a lot of doctors that are actually endorsing this. And again, talking about it with all their patients. So Adam Shiner heard about this product, wasn't approached by the company. He heard about it from a brand partner, and he said, well, this one talks about wound healing. I said, I bet it would help with the laser plastic surgery that he does. He said the normal recovery time is basically 6 to 8 weeks. So imagine a month and a half to 2 months of recovery time after you have this laser plastic surgery. People fly in from around the world to see this guy. Well, he said, I'm gonna try this beforehand. So he does it now 30 days. It comes in a sleeve of 30 patches. So basically, he gets a sleeve to each one of his patients who's going to be using the procedure that he does, and says, "I want you to use this prior to the actual procedure." Well, now the recovery time is 7 to 10 days. Think about that for a second. That's a game changer for a lot of people, from a month and a half to 2 months to basically a week to week and a half on that. So once again, he says, if you want to be a patient of mine, you must use this protocol. Another one who said the exact same thing, Dr. Leland Stillman. But at first he's like, man, he goes, what's this little patch going to do? What's this little thing going to do? And he realized, he said, well, this is actually low-level stimulation over a long period of time. He's an expert in light therapy. He's got these red light therapy beds. He lays people lay in these beds 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time, and it's high-level intense light therapy for a short period of time. He said, I bet it works as a protocol pretty well. He was blown away. And he goes, most people have to travel to where he goes, or they got to go to different places where they got this light therapy beds, or if they buy something, they're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars, if not $100,000 for the same type of equipment. And so he goes, this is the amazing thing you can carry around in your pocket and actually share with people. So the one thing that's great about this is he now today said the same, if you want to work with me, you must, use this patch. And we got all kinds of testimonials that we can use. We have thousands of pictures like this. But if you look at, time, think about time stamping, or basically before and afters. Here's day 1, day 42, day 355. To me, I don't know if you notice the difference. I do. And these are not photoshopped, anything like that. And you can actually hear it. She's got a video out there that talks about it. But this is her now. So if you look at the difference of what the reverse aging does, this actually works. I've had friends of mine say, you look younger at 54 than you did in your 40s and early 50s. I'm like, I agree. So other people we hear about, working in the rafters, here's someone who fell through the ceiling, broke 6 ribs, punctured his lung, extreme discomfort. Once again, expected recovery was a minimum of 6 weeks. He was back to work within 3 weeks. Why? Because he's using a stem cell activation patch that was helping in the healing. But look at the timestamps here. Look at the 17th to 23rd. The time from 17th, that's 13 days. So 1 week later, 2 weeks later. Look at the difference. We've shown this to a lot of people. They go, that's not normal, especially medical doctors. Like, that's not normal. We got other people with skin conditions. We could go on and on by looking at these different things. But this is just an example. When we talk about miracles are happening, right? And other people, this guy's got baggage under his eye. So you look at all the different ways. This is actually, people talk about this, it's actually a challenge with liver. And once again, what does this do? It actually makes him younger. It actually helps his liver. That actually helps, once again, with what they call the festoons. No plastic surgery needed. Just put a patch on, which is kind of cool. So one thing we did have is I got a quick video that's basically 4 minutes long that explains from 4 different doctors. It's at the end of an hour-long interview with all these different doctors, but at the very end, they kind of summarize what it is. So I like to play this so that you can have a better understanding what other doctors are saying, but we could have other people share as well.
Dr. Dodge, what about you? What makes this special?
Oh, sorry.
I think, really echoing that, this is the most powerful piece of medical technology I've come across in my practice, and that's over 20 years. So I think being able to reverse and see the testimonials of reversal of aging, reversal of disease that are otherwise untreatable or that people and other doctors even give up on. This is new hope. It's new hope in the form of a patch that is so simple to offer if you're a healthcare professional, but you don't even have to be. A friend or a family member can begin to offer this to other friends, family members. So harnessing the power of the stem cells really in your pocket and transforming your life in such a simple but profound way.
It's great. Dr. Stillman?
You know, the funny thing is, I think the most compelling thing that I get every day from this is just the testimonials. And like some of the other doctors have said, it's just such an incredible opportunity for people to be part of the healing process, and for the amount of effort that we've put in as doctors to be able to help people, for you to be able to like walk around with this in the palm of your hand. It's just an incredible, incredible blessing for you all to be able to help people like this, because I can tell you, I know what it's like to get results like we see on the patch in my practice. Without the patch, it's a lot of work and effort, and it isn't just $100 a month. So when people pass this up, who I recommend it to, I just think they're totally nuts. They have no idea what they're missing. So enjoy it. Be glad that you got on board.
Very great. Dr. Fitch?
The best way I can say is that this is the most affordable, sexiest, easiest way to get into the stem cell world. So for as low as $99 a month, you turning your stem cells back on, carrying the sun around in your pocket to just wake your body up is just an amazing ability. Medicine will always be there to save the farm, to save the body from completely crashing, but that's not the state that most of us operate in. Most of us operate in a state of chronic inflammation day by day, and we need some kind of chronic ability to combat and buffer against that. And this is by far one of the easiest and most transparent ways to do it.
Thank you, Dr. Fitch. Dr. Joe, last words.
I just think this is the most remarkable opportunity that's ever come along in my lifetime to this point, for your health, for your finances. You know, if you choose to work it as a business. I got both my boys involved because they're just finishing up their college careers, and I told them this is better than a 401k or a Roth IRA. I've heard you say, Danny, it's like buying stock in Walmart in 1980. I think it's better than that. I think there's no comparison. And for those that are just willing to try it, they're not going to be disappointed, and they're going to quickly want to share it with others. So I share that piece with almost everyone that I introduced the patch to.
Fantastic. That's well said. Appreciate you, Dr. Joe.
So like Dr. Fitch said, we're doing something that's very sexy. It's very kind of cool. So anyway, but again, we tell people all the time, this is an amazing technology. You want to share it with everybody you can. And where you can share this with is, once again, go onto the website. We can tell people share this website all the time. It's just for informational purposes. You can't buy anything from here. There's no phone numbers, no nothing. Thisitinfo.com is where you want to go. And on there at the very top, you can click on the menu. There's a drop down. You'll see testimonials. Click on there and you'll see all these different ailments. And you can click on each different one. They got 3, 4, 5 videos, within there. So that's what we, always recommend. So the one thing that we also talk about is more about the company. I want Men to share more about that.
So when we found out about the product, we had no idea that this company, LifeWave, was already existing for a number of years. In fact, LifeWave turned 20-year-olds last year, and this year, October, will be 21 years in business, open in over 80 countries. That's what we're hearing. At the time that the time that they launched the X39, the company was sitting at the $20 million US mark.
Pretty consistently for years.
And with the launch of the X39, we have the company, the US dollar mark has consistently grown to closing over 600 million in 2024, last year. So that's a growth of about 580 million US. That's a lot of growth because of the introduction of the X39. So obviously people are experiencing this. Obviously people are seeing results and they continue to share. That's why this phenomenal growth. And David Schmidt says we're bound to close at over $1 billion US this year. The thing that I love about it is that it's not a Me Too product. A lot of, you know, I mean, I still do vitamins and supplements, and I support my small business owner friends because they have some great stuff. But if they out there trying to market to everybody else, there's so much variety, there's so much competition. Whereas when we're out there sharing the X39, nobody else has it.
No.
And that's what we have a product that's not a Me Too product.
Yeah, I love actually when you meet people and they're going, "What is that? And where do I get it? How come I don't know about this?" And that's about what we're doing, word of mouth marketing. So the company itself is the #1 momentum network in the entire world, one of the fastest growing companies in the entire world. And the people that work with the This Is It team is basically Steve and Gina Merritt. So here's Steve and here's Gina, basically along with Meredith Burkich, who's the president of the company, and David Schmidt, actually at a conference that we're at. This was back in August of 23. We were in this over here somewhere. Anyway, so the crazy part is that they literally said, "Hey, we need to expose a bunch of people, teach people about this." They had doctors panels, all kinds of different things that were there. But at that time, they basically became now the #1 growth company and won actually in 2024 what's considered the Direct Sales News 2024 Global Bravo Award. We just heard that they just won 2025 also.
Yeah.
So the growth they have, and that's basically looking at a company for a 4-year period of time, which company has grown the fastest over the past 4 years. And so we won it last year, we won again this year because no one's catching us, and we're going to win it again this year just because going from 600 million to $1 billion is going to be crazy. But what happened with Steve actually was a professional water skier, so he had all kinds of injuries, he had 13 different surgeries during his career, so he had tons of issues. So he was taking handfuls of Excedrin, so if you think of pain pills, not like oxycodone, but things like, Advil. I'm trying to think what they're being in South Africa and Europe, but basically like whatever it's called. Anyway, so he's taking also, and his wife's like, "Oh, this stuff's gonna kill you. You should be taking this stuff." And he goes, "Well, I just got to keep moving forward." So when he tried the patch, within a week, all of his ailments were gone, and his wife's like, "This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. This is what we've been praying for." So for a year, they've been praying for an opportunity to work with the right company, with the right product, with the right compensation plan, with the right leadership. And they prayed for God's favor because they'd worked with a company and made over $50 million. So very successful, made over $50 million with the previous company, but the company shifted into weight loss. They said, "That's not what we want to do. We want to help people in different ways." And this is something that Lily, now they're the #1 fastest growing team in the entire company, which is absolutely fantastic. So the part that we love talking to people about is, again, really the opportunity. And I really talk to people about the opportunity because I want people to want to understand there's really kind of, 3 outcomes that you're going to see when we talk about the opportunity. And #1, we call it a 3-2-1 launch. And so this is kind of a launch meeting, as we call it, basically talking more about the product. We're helping the company get the word out. But the thing that when you take a look at this, there's really 3 conclusions you come to. And a 3 would be someone who says, "This looks great. This looks really good. Can I get some more information?" And absolutely, we're going to get you more information. The person who invited you is going to give you more information. And then that's what you want to do, is get the information. But they're going to set up a time to get back with you within the next 24, 48 hours to answer some questions you might have. #2 would be someone who says, "Yeah, I like the product. Can I actually get the product at a wholesale price?" And we're going to talk about that. Absolutely. We want to tell people, would you rather pay retail or rather get it at wholesale? I've never heard anybody say, "Yeah, I want to pay retail." Most people are like, I want to get it at the wholesale price. But then the #1 would be someone who says, "You know what? I like this idea and I love the opportunity that you shared." So by the time we get done at the end, I'm going to go back over that again. And if you're #1, we're going to help you get launched and be a part of this amazing team. But the big thing I want you to think about is really what's most important in your life. This is just a couple different words on here on the screen. They talk about it, pictures worth 1,000 words. And if you look at some of these different pictures here of spending time with family, that's for us the #1 thing that we talk about is spending time with our family. My wife's family is actually in South Africa. Last year, we were able to go there 3 different times and spend time, with their family for Lily months at a time. And so that's a big thing, spending time. But the #1 thing for me a couple years ago was freedom. I was working a job, and I literally we had a mentorship management type management, which was really good, where they helped out. They changed it to what I call a tour mentorship management, where they tracked every moment of every second of every day of what you're doing, and it was bad. That's the only thing I can say is I didn't like it. I got to the point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And literally when this opportunity came along with the help of my wife and the help of our team that we're working with, I was able to replace my income, my 6-figure income in 14 months. 2 months later, fired my job back in January 8th of last year and walked into freedom. Total financial independence. So people say, well, that's kind of risky. Well, you understand a growing business that's created on residual income, our business has quadrupled since then, if you understand that. So when you understand the kind of growth that can happen, it's pretty amazing. So if you like that idea, then you're also going to like the idea of having financial security, having residual income coming in, being able to be debt free is one thing we talk about. Being able to have the idea of travel. Last year, we'll talk a little bit more about travel in a second, but last year we had the opportunity to take a lot of trips. And then once again, better health. This is the number one thing for so many people. Some people talk about all these other things are put aside when your health is not in the right place. When you get better health, you can start living again, which is pretty amazing.
So this is an indication of some of the trips that we actually get to go on. And this is an incentive trip that we will be going on in April. All inclusive resort, and it's paid for, as well as airfare that's been paid for by the company. And this is just the first trip this year. We actually were notified of a second trip just last week. David Schmidt will be flying all of us out to Utah, where the corporate head offices are. And we're so excited to go see that. Because apparently it's amazing. We're going to get to spend 4 days there and then a day with Steve and Gina. They just purchased a home in Utah. But you know,
That's for senior presidential.
yeah, it's just for the senior presidential directors and above. But the thing is, this is not. I know that Europe, a number of our South African friends and European friends have actually qualified for Croatia, and so they'll be going to Croatia in May. So these are incentive trips that they incentivize us for actually just sharing.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you're willing to open your mouth and share this amazing technology with people, you get incentivized and you could get to go on a free trip. How amazing is that? So we last year had 5 free trips, and this will be our first for this year. So we're looking forward to a great year, and it's for everybody. Not just some of us, but for absolutely everybody.
Yeah, corporate actually did 3 incentive trips. We had 2 team trips, and one of the incentive trips was actually a free cruise in the Greek Isles. So we actually had a free Greek island cruise on Royal Caribbean. It was absolutely amazing. Spent 4 days in Italy beforehand, and then flew to South Africa for 3 weeks after that. And so that's what freedom is like. So if you like that idea, we're praying for something like that for years, and this is the only thing that came across that actually provided freedom for us. So I'm going to explain really a couple different ways that we actually make money, because really there's 4 ways, and then the 5th way is obviously free trips, but there's 4 ways that we earn money. One of them is when someone buys the product, they can pay a retail price, and you can make a retail to wholesale difference. We really don't do that much, because the power of this is in duplicating, and instead of just making a little bit of money on retail, is to create residual ongoing income by building teams. So how we do that, the second way we make money is by building a network. And if you understand anything about a network, it's great because this is set up as what they call a binary, where you can build only 2 teams. So you got a right team and a left team. So what is as simple as basically be getting successful is just by easy as knowing 4 people to go manager. So I'm always asking people, who do you love? Who do you care about? Who are people that you know that could benefit from this? But also, who do you know that's looking for opportunities to generate extra money? We got a lot of people in South Africa that love the idea they can get paid in US dollars. And we're going to explain that in a second. So what's great about this is, again, you get started as a brand partner. As a brand partner, you're not buying the product at wholesale. You're buying it at a lower price. So instead of spending basically $150, you get it for $100 or even less, depending on the package you get, which is kind of great. But then what you do is actually help other people do the same thing. Help this person being a brand partner. Help this person. Another one on the right, another on the left. When you have 4 people, now you've done this, you got 2 on the right, 2 on the left. As brand partners, you now actually become what's called manager. As a manager, you can make up to $1,500 a week. Now, it doesn't start there. It starts at 100 and 200 and 300. It starts growing and growing and growing and growing to the point where literally you can max out there. But by the time you do that, you got this person that says, I want to be a manager. This person says, I want to be a manager. Now what happens? This person becomes a manager. This one becomes a manager, and you become what's called a director. And as a director, you can make up to $2,500 a week. And it goes up and up and up to the point where you can earn up to $25,000 a week on the binary. Now, a lot of people, that's a lot of money if you understand that. Multiply that times 18 or 19 for South Africa. That gives you an idea how many rands you could actually earn per week. So again, it doesn't start there. It takes a while to do that. But the thing is that we have people that are friends of ours in this business that are doing that have maxed out this compensation plan. So we know it can be done. We're on our way to doing that ourselves, which is pretty amazing. So how it works is that there's different levels. Like we mentioned, if you're not a manager, you can make up to $100 a week. Our goal is to help you become a manager as quickly as possible. And this doesn't mean to manage people, doesn't mean that you got more work. No, it's just a title basically that allows you to open up the compensation plan. So what happens when you have 2 managers, you become a director. When you have 2 directors, you become a senior director. I always point this one out because everyone on our team that we've helped them go senior director is making a minimum of $1,000 a week on a residual ongoing basis. So if you like that idea, that's what we're going to help you do. Then what happened is this is what set us free, or set me free basically initially, and set my wife free. So we basically, as executive directors, this is a 6-figure income, 6-figure residual income, right? So what happened with that is we hit this basically is based upon points. And then when we basically 6 weeks later hit the presidential director, it's 6 weeks after that, that's called momentum. That was great, amazing growth is happening. And then what happened is back in October, we hit this senior presidential director, which is the highest rank in the whole company. To me, we're still blown away that this happened, but God blessed it. He's blessing people on our team. We've got now, presidential directors. We got executive. We got tons of people that are in all these different things, and we're helping everybody to get to senior presidential director this year. Why? Because the lifestyle in that is huge. If you understand the freedom that comes along with that is massive. But this is maximized. So 1.3 million per year, not bad. But how do you like the idea unlimited? I'll have my wife share a little more about the unlimited.
So we just showed you the limited aspect, but this is now another way that we earn, and it's unlimited income potential. I mean, when I saw this, I'm like, really? So I mean, you can max out at $25,000 a week, and then you can still earn on top of that. Well, this is because we get paid off of the team that we start to share with. And so in our instance, we got started and we shared with Brendan out of South Africa, and Brendan is our first generation. And so we would make off of Brendan's binary. So Brendan makes $1,000 a week or $10,000 a week. We're going to get 25% off of that binary cycle, but it's not coming out of his check. They're matching it. Okay. So he'll get his full check, but they will match by 25%. And then Brendan spoke with Christelle, and Christelle is second generation. And so we get 20% off of Christelle's binary, whereas that would be first generation to Brendan. Okay. Then Christelle spoke to Yvette or to Jess, and Jess, then it would be third generation to us, and we get 20% off of Jess's binary during the course of the week. So all these people that are making money on the binary, whether they're first, second, or third generation to us, we're making a 20% cut of that, okay? And that's perpetually for as long as, and as far down as they go. No matter whether the first generation, if Brendan was the 50th person we sponsored, even then we would make 25% off of his binary. So this was absolutely amazing. When I heard that people are making $100,000 a week on this level, I was like, ooh, my goodness, this is breaking the bank. But in all honesty, it's amazing, because you know what we're doing? We're touching people, we're impacting people, we're sharing something that is changing the quality of their life or their loved one's life. There's so many people that are praying, that are praying for hope to a solution. They find themselves stuck, and then they pray, and then God answers. Like somebody said last night, God answered with a patch. That's the way he answered their prayer.
That was me.
And so it's not like we're sharing anything that's bad. Like we're just loving on people enough to share a solution to their problem.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my wife didn't sleep real well. I kept on hitting her with a frying pan, and no, I'm just kidding. So no, but it was like, because I know what it's like when she would wake up in the night and she couldn't sleep. And then she's scrolling through Instagram, all of a sudden a loud video comes on, it wakes me up. I'm like, what are you doing? So, but anyway, you think about this, but really forget about the big numbers right now. What would an extra, let's use example South Africa, an extra 20,000 Rand a month, would that be helpful to you in your household? What about an extra 20,000 Rand a week? Now, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It could take 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 24 months. I don't know. We always tell people this is a 2 to 5 year plan to become financially independent. Ours was in 2 years. So we literally within 2 years, basically were completely financially, independent. Really, it was in 14 months, but still, we said, we chose the 2-year plan instead of the 5-year plan. So when you look at it,
Or the 40-year plan.
yeah, the 40-year plan by comparison. So I've had some people say, well, I don't know if I want to talk to people. I say, great, I don't want to go to a job. If you want to go to a job, keep doing what you're doing. If you say, allow us to work with you to help you to talk to people, because that's the best thing you do. The person who invited you obviously spoke to you. They'll be willing to talk to some people that you know. So really, it's pretty simple. We have basically, an application. I've always got one. We call it an app on my lap. I've always got an application with us at all times. So when we talk to somebody, we say there's really 3 different options that we talk to people about, because we always say we don't even include the retail. I'm like, would you rather get the product wholesale? I've never had anybody say I want to pay retail. So the 3 different wholesale options is based upon your level of interest. And so for, like I mentioned, the person who says I'm a number 2, we'd recommend that you basically get the product at wholesale. So what happens, you get the product at wholesale. In order to get it wholesale, you got to buy at least 3 sleeves, and a sleeve is basically a 30-day supply. So that's basically a 3-month supply. If it's you and your spouse, like for me and my wife, I get a sleeve, she gets a sleeve. So once again, that'd be maybe from one person, then we put you on basically 2 sleeve auto ship after that. So $295 is basically what it is, calculating your own, when it was an international meeting, calculating your own rands or euros, or what the difference is on there. But what happened was that we had people that say, well, I like the idea of a business. So like a number 1 says, I like the idea of business. We recommend the advanced or the premium pack. The advanced basically is 6 sleeves for $535, so you get it at a discount. But the best discount is actually when you get 20 sleeves and get it basically at the lowest price of basically $87.50 per sleeve. When I saw that, I saw a product from a standpoint that I could share with others. So what we did, this is what we just tell you what we did. We basically got the premium pack. You can pick whatever you want, and you also have the ability to upgrade. Once again, if you got the core pack, you can upgrade to the advanced and pay the difference. You already had 3 sleeves. They'll give you 3 more sleeves, with the difference in the price of $240. But we decided to get the biggest pack because I wanted to have product in hands, because I knew a lot of people locally. And what Steve and Gina recommended, they say, Greg, we recommend as you talk to people, but basically get them registered and say, tell you what I'll do. I'll lend you one of my sleeves, brand new sleeve, and I'll give it to you today when you get registered. And when you get yours in the next 3, 4, 5 days, just give me one back. And we call it a place and replace. So we place it, replace it, place it, replace it, replace and replacing all these different people all over the place. And what happened is that all of a sudden we signed up several premiums. And when you sign up a premium, you get $405 up front. So you make $405 by signing a premium. We signed up like 3 premiums. We signed up several advanced, you get $75. We signed up several core. This is all within 2.5 weeks. We made that money back. Now, again, my wife said to me, she said, well, if you're going to get the biggest pack, you better make that money back quickly. I said, yes, ma'am. And Lily, we went to work. Now, at first, it was me. About a week and a half into it, she goes, okay, I'm running with you too. So it was like, and that's how things exploded. The first month, we made almost $3,000. So when you understand the residual component of this, the importance of being on subscription is you want to continue using this product, week after week, month after month. For us, it's been year after year. Do you know why? Our bodies are getting younger. I said, everybody's going down this down escalator. Imagine being able to have a product that stops the escalator and starts going back up. You start getting younger and younger and younger. So I had someone say, well, do I have to continue the product? I said, no, you can get older if you want to. I plan on getting younger and younger. But the part we talked about is that if you get on 1 sleeve auto ship, you actually get to keep basically your points. You're going to have points accumulate. So each sleeve is worth 77 points. And you'll see that once again, each of these different ones have different points involved, 180 points, 300, 745. On the premium, you actually don't have to buy any product for 90 days. So we love that idea. We got the premium, and then basically we're covered for, in this case, like the month of March, April, May. We didn't have to buy anything till June. So if someone says, oh, I like that idea, I'd recommend the premium. It's the best bang for the buck, and that's why it's the most popular. But again, being on 1 sleeve auto ship, you get to keep all the points, but you only earn up to $100 per week. Most people want the unlimited, so you got to be on 2 sleeves on the advanced pack or higher on the advanced or premium. In order to maximize, you keep all the points, you have the most money you can make, and it's product for 2 people. So once we got this pack, one time pack, we get 2 sleeves per month. I get a sleeve, she gets a sleeve. $200 a month is our monthly expense in this business. Now, if anybody here is a business owner, I challenge you to think if you spend more than $200 a month on your business. That's what we spend, literally. So the rest of it's just our time sharing with others, which again is pretty nominal. So everything has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's pretty powerful. Is there anything you want to share on that?
Yeah.
So the last part of this is the last things we want to share.
Yeah, so we already spoke about the website. This is at info.com. So whoever invited you here today probably already shared thisisit.info.com with you, and you've looked at the information, you decided to give it a second look, which is exactly what we do, and we share that website with everybody. Thisisateam.com is for those of us who say, you know what, I want to invest, but I want to make that money back, and I want to keep sharing with people. And so that is the how to get it done. And it has absolutely everything, the A to Z of what it means to be in business. We did not need to figure it out on our own. It was given to us on a plate. And we are forever grateful to, this is a team, Steve and Gina Merritt and all the leaders that put these websites together, because this is like going to school to become a dentist or a doctor or to become an engineer or attorney. You get all those textbooks. Well, thisisateam.com is like our textbook. Thisisatinfo.com is the information website, and nobody can purchase off there. So don't be fearful about sharing that. Share that website all day long with people, because you do not want to be David Schmidt. You did not put the patch together. Rather let him explain how this product was made.
Exactly. And so the one thing we always tell people too is we say, if you're going to send people to the video, let them know there's 3 short videos. Each of them are 2 or 3 minutes long. Watch the first 3 videos. The 4th video is from Dr. Leland Stillman. And then of course it's got the patent, it's got everything else in there. But the video from Dr. Leland Stillman, I tell people, please watch that. It's about 40 minutes long, but it's worth watching. It'll educate you on how amazing this technology is, so you can learn, more about this. But really it's now time, basically it's your move. You tell us if you're a 3, 2, or 1, and what that means. Again, if you're a 3, it's just let the person know who invited you. I just want to get some more information. I'm a number 3. Just let them know that. If you're number 2, I've got some challenges. My family has some challenges. There'll be people. Can I get this product? Yes, we're going to get it to you at the wholesale. You just let them know what package you want. If it's a bigger family, you might get the advanced. If it's just for you, you might get the core. Whatever is best for you. But then number 1 says, I like the idea of business. I like the idea of freedom. I like the idea of being able to travel and do these different trips and stuff like that. To us, we're living a dream life now. We're literally, we call it an SPD life, Senior Presidential Director life. And that's what it is. It's a lifestyle of total freedom, helping people around the world. We take our time and energy to help you become successful. And that's what we want to do, because the people have invested in us. We're investing in you. So really, if you're serious about your dreams and you really know that there's really hope for your future, we tell people we're hope dealers, not dope dealers. So again, we want to help you get started with X39. So get back together with the person. If you want to start today, you say you're number 1, great. Welcome to the team. We look forward to working with you. The last thing I'll leave you with basically is I always say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Look at this picture here. You may have been to a tropical place like this. We live in a tropical place like this, but we've traveled to all these places. We're in Mexico, we're in Dominican Republic, we're in Greece last year, all these different places, amazing trips. And a picture is worth 1,000 words. But how many people know a video, right, is worth 1,000 pictures? But how many people know that an experience is worth 1,000 videos? My wife being from South Africa, the first time I was researching South Africa, I literally saw pictures like, wow, it's amazing. I looked at videos, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But how many people know when I went there, it was a completely different thing, because I experienced that amazing country. What's amazing is that we want you to experience this product. We want you to experience this today, because once you start using it, as I tell people, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. The best research you can do with a patch on the back of your net, and you have 30 days looking at the information, because once you experience what this does for you, it'll make all the difference in the world. So we're pretty much done here. So again, we obviously recommend getting back together with the person who recommended you getting on here. So we're glad we could share. Those of you in the U.S., hopefully you shared that, again, unfortunately, the time changed. We keep the European and South African time the same. So for those of you who are affected by daylight savings time, we apologize, but this meeting now is at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., but same time for South Africa and most of Europe, as far as I know.
And thank you for being on. We appreciate every single one of you. And just reach out to us if you have any questions, but we will be back here again next week for presentation to the international team. And then our next meeting is starting in 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yep.
So
and that's a next level meeting. It's a training meeting.
It's a business meeting. So for those of you who are joining us, please see us at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard or 7 p.m. I believe Europe, and 8 p.m. South Africa.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys in a little bit. But again, next time will be the same time next week. So there's a lot of other meetings that are available. So if you get back together with the person who invited you and say, I want to get started, whatever you need, we're going to help you with that. So God bless you. Have an amazing day. And we'll see all of you leaders in about 10 minutes.
And get back